Okay, so in today's lesson we're going to look at how we complete a stem and leaf diagram. It's important that if you haven't already, make sure to watch the video on our different types of averages, because that will become important later in these types of questions. So a stem and leaf diagram is basically where we take a set of numbers, a set of data like this, and we put it into a diagram, a stem and leaf, that allows us to pull information from it quite easily, such as median, mode and range. If we look at the first example that we're going to tackle here, we have test results for a year 10 maths class. These are the pupils' results here. What we're going to do is we're going to put this into an ordered stem and leaf. Now, what a stem and leaf diagram is, it's simply a table. This line separating the stem from the leaf. The stem in this case is going to represent tens, and it's important when you look at the data you decide that by looking at the range of numbers. So we are going from our 50s right up to our 90s, so the stem is going to represent 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s. That might be different, of course, depending on the range of data in the particular question that you're looking at. So you go from the lowest to the highest. Okay, so we've ordered the stem. Now, as part of the working out, we're going to do an unordered stem and leaf diagram first, and then an ordered one. The reason it's going to be unordered is because the leaves, which represent the units in this case for each of these results, are not going to be in order when we put them into the correct row. So what I mean by that there is, if I look at 63, I'm going to put 3 beside the 6 here, because this 3 will represent 63, and I will stroke the numbers out as I go. This 95, I will put a 5 beside 9, and this 5 will represent 95. If, for example, I put a 5 here, it would represent 85. If I put it here, it would represent 75. And we work through the numbers like this, stroking them out as we go to make sure we don't miss anything. This is why we do an unordered one first. 59, I put a 9 here, stroke that out. 60 goes in there, stroke that out. 65 goes in there. 73 goes in there. 84 goes in there. 67 again. 90, 87, 81, 67, 78, 74, 75, 79, 77, 80, 67 and 85. So this first stem and leaf is not ordered, because if you look at any of the leaves, they should go in ascending order, from smallest to largest. 3, 8, 4, 5, 9, 7. That is not in order. So the second and the proper stem and leaf diagram, the ordered stem and leaf diagram, we're going to do below. So this is essentially just part of our working out. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there only is 159. Okay, so this will have to be 0, 3, 5, 0, 3, 5, 7, 7, 7, 7. So now they are in order from smallest to largest. And again, doing it this way just makes it less likely that you'll miss any values out. The smallest in the 70s is 73. Then we have 74. And if you're, just to avoid confusion, because this is part of our working out, we can stroke this out as well if we need to. 5, 7, 8, 9. Okay. On to the 80s. So 80 and then 81, 4, 5, 7. And then the 90s, so should be 0 and 5, 90 and then 95. And then always just count to make sure there was 21 values up here in our original list, so there should be 21 values in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 14, 19, 20, 21. Okay, so we have 21 values. That means we shouldn't have missed anything out there. The last thing you always need to include with the stem and leaf, and there's a mark awarded for this in the exam, so be careful not to skip it, is a key. So the key all you need to do is pick a value from your stem and leaf. I always just pick the first one. 5/9 means 59, and that is just to allow anyone who is reading your stem and leaf to interpret what it represents, because stem and leaves can also be used for decimal numbers or numbers in our hundreds or in our thousands. Okay, so the follow-up questions for this, and this is again why I was just stating that it's important to watch the video where we covered our averages, is because a stem and leaf makes it easier to interpret median, mode and range. I haven't included mean because a stem and leaf diagram doesn't make finding the mean any easier, because the data doesn't need to be in order. I mean, I could just as easily find the mean using the numbers up here by adding them all together and dividing by 21. If we look at the first average we've been asked to find here, it is the median. We have 21 values. Okay, so when we have an odd number of values, and this is again why I was saying it's important to watch the video that we covered on averages. What we do is we add 1 to the number of values and half that. So that allows us to determine that the 11th value is our middle value. Okay, 21 plus 1 is 22, divided by 2 is 11. So it's the 11th value. So all you do is count 11 numbers in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so 75 is the median. The mode is also very easy to determine from a stem and leaf diagram because the data has been put in order. The mode is 67, and it's also just important that the mode would be 7, okay, because just keep in mind this 7 represents 77 and this 7 represents 87, so the mode is 67. So that's important to remember. It's important what row it's in. And the last thing is the range. So the range is just the biggest, take away the smallest. And again, why it's easy to calculate that from a stem and leaf diagram is because the numbers are put in order. So it's 95, take away 59. So 36. Okay. That's how you do a stem and leaf diagram. I'll put some questions in to practice, and anything you're unsure about, just feel free to ask.